Hey everyone, this is Scott from certvideo.com. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up the Twitter login for Nextend social login. So as I mentioned in the Facebook login video, I would be taking a video to walk you through each of the steps to get the various social platform logins created. So on the getting started page, it makes it pretty simple. You have to go to this URL. I've already opened it and I'm going to show you the application setup settings you need to go through and what you're going to need. The one thing I'm going to make sure to copy right ahead of time is the callback URL, which is just your wp.login.php. So you're going to give yourself an app name, which is whatever name that you want it to be declared as. I'm just going to put staging 2. And then you're going to give a short description of what this is. An educational app showing how to set up the social login plugin for WordPress. After you declared your URL, you're going to make sure you include the website URL, which in this case was staging2.certmedia.com. You're going to make sure you're using your own URL, and then you're going to check the enable sign in with Twitter. Your callback URL is going to be as follows. It's going to be your domain name /wp-login.php. Then what you're going to want to do is declare the terms of service, the category, and the privacy URL for each of these sections, as well as an organization if the URL that you're using belongs to another company that you might own. So if it's another website that you own, but it's under an organized brand, just declare that as well. That way your app doesn't get banned because you didn't include some important information. Then you're going to need to include a little description of what the app is being used for. Make sure you write something real. This is for Twitter employees, and if they determine that your app is being suspicious and you don't declare how the app is being used for, they can just go ahead and ban the app, which disables its functionality altogether. Twitter is not messing around anymore with Twitter apps because they have been used for a lot of spam in the background. As we all know, bots are galore on Twitter, and you can even set up automated apps to post to Twitter that don't cause any problems, but you have to make sure that you're at least telling them what the app is being used for. That way they can cross-reference that as need be. After you do all this, you're just going to hit the create button. It's going to give you a little warning. We're going to click create, and then make sure you declare your app icon. Typically, it's just the icon for your company. Just upload like a 512 by 512 icon so that way it can scale down and it'll be totally fine. You could probably just use your favicon if you have a larger one that's already uploaded. And then what you're going to go is you're going to go to your keys and tokens. You're going to copy your API secret in API key, and you're going to go to settings, and you're going to copy the API key here and copy the API secret right underneath it. Make sure that nobody else sees your secret key, because if they do, it allows them to pretend that they are your app, which can get your app banned. Because this is a staging website, I will be deleting the app after I am done with the video. Underneath the other settings, this is where you're going to be able to modify the usernames upon registration. So what I typically recommend doing is where it says username prefix on register, you typically don't need to include a prefix for that option because it's going to attach it to everybody who logs in or registers with Twitter. What I do recommend is adding a prefix on a fallback. So if the user registers on Twitter with the username Scott and it's already taken, this will add a prefix of Twitter dash, so it'll be Twitter dash Scott. That way the Scott who is already registered on the website doesn't have to worry about his account being overwritten or removed or like merged because their usernames were the same. That way, when the username is invalid or not stored, there is a prefix. Now, if two people named Scott for some reason managed to get the same username on Twitter, then this would cause an issue, but Twitter already has a system in place to prevent that. You cannot register the same username as somebody else who's already on the platform. For the profile image size, I typically recommend going with original. The reason for that is, while 73 by 73 is probably fine for most implementations, if you're using BuddyPress in particular, you want to make sure that the image you're retrieving is quite large for the profile image, and then it will be scaled down, and then you could, in theory, using some kind of image proxy, force it to be resized dynamically on your end, so that way it's fitting the size. But you don't want to have something that's too small and that's being upscaled. So either 73 by 73 or the recommended original is what you should use. After you set all these settings, you're just going to scroll back up to the Save Changes. You're going to get a little notice here that says your configuration needs to be verified. It's basically just going to ask you to log in with your Twitter account. You're going to click Verify Settings. It'll pop up a window. You're going to click Authorize App. And then once you do that, this will change to a works fine, but it's disabled. And then you're going to make sure that you hit Enable. And now your Twitter login should be enabled. To verify this, you just need to click over here, select Log Out, and then you should then see the Continue with Twitter option. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions about the setup, please feel free to ask in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.